guys, and welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be doing lock methods slash LCO methods. So I've shampooed my hair already and I am going to be doing protective styling, and the method that I use is the LCO method because that just works for me. It just makes more sense for you to seal your hair with an oil rather than a cream, because I just feel like once you put an oil in your hair, nothing else can penetrate that, or anyway, so either or, guys, will work, and that's okay. Before I start with the protective styling, I'm just gonna tell you just a little bit about what protective styling is, and possibly like how I do mine, and possibly tips and advice concerning protective styling. Before, like after I wash my hair, I don't dry my hair completely like until it's dry, but I just put the towel around my head for like a minute and then I take it off because I still want moisture for when I do my LCO method, right? So protective styling, guys, is super important. Protective styling, guys, really makes or breaks your hair and I get so distracted, I can't like multitask. Okay, so protective styling, guys, is really important, and it's very nice for you to, it's a good way for you to stretch your hair after you have washed your hair. It's a good way for you to also make your hair grow, anywhere your hair is like in a like put together. It's always a very good idea. So usually when I do protective styling, guys, I don't make lines straight. I don't pay too much attention on whether the lines are straight or not, because I know that I don't usually go out with my protective styling. But usually I know some people who do. I know some people who pay a lot of attention to protective styling after they wash their hair, and that's fine and it makes sense, but I'm just not brave enough for me to Okay, so the LCO method is a liquid, cream, and an oil. So for my liquids, I've got a little bit of liquid in my hair, which is the water from rinsing off the shampoo, which is fine, but eventually like your hair tends to dry out. Probably by the time I get to the last section, then my hair would have been dry. So as a liquid, I would use rice water that has carrot in it. So I actually got this from like a friend of mine. She was telling me that you just chop up carrots and then you add the carrots into the rice water and then you let it ferment, and then you just bottle it up and there you go. So I've been using this for a while now. I actually really love it. So the cream that I'm using is the Sheer Moisture, this one. I've used this for like a very long time and I love this. Funny enough, because I have low porosity hair, I did not think that this smoothie would work for my hair. Usually butters, creams, or like really thick balms or smoothies don't really work for my hair because it just weighs down my hair, but for some reason this one just works for my hair. So at the end of the day, guys, this whole hair thing is a trial and error thing. What works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. So the oil that I'm using is this Nzuri's avo and carrot oil. This is what I'm sure I've showed this before, I think in the deep conditioning one, and I love this. Love it. I have it. Protective styling just really makes life easier, to be honest. I think if you're like, you don't want to be styling your hair every day, you can just have like a protective styling for a whole week and not just, it doesn't really bother you. That's what I really like about protective styling. I'm going to apply it in this method. I'm going to put this, I'm going to put the cream, and then I'm going to put the oil, massage it, and then do a braid or something. But today I'm doing a flat twist because flat twists don't take time and it's just a very quick thing. And yeah, I know I have friends who do like small twists, and guys, I can't. Like, I don't have a whole day to be doing twists. I just can't. So I'm going to be doing a flat twist. It just covers a lot of space very quickly. So I'm just gonna spray a little bit of this. It's always nice to make sure that your this is warm. It's nice to just, because it opens up your hair follicles and blah blah, and it's just easier for your hair to absorb all the things that, you know, like we're gonna put today. It helps absorb because your follicles are open. So we're just gonna massage that, right? You can also use plain water, guys. I've said this. You can use any other oil, I mean any other liquid, any other liquid that just works for you guys. You can do it, but you need to make sure that your hair is also not too wet, right? Okay, so guys, protective styling is good for when you sleep. You need to protect your hair when you sleep. You cannot just sleep like this. You cannot. You absolutely cannot sleep like that. Your hair is just gonna shrink, your hair is gonna get knots, and you know, like as a child when you used to sleep and you didn't really know about protective styling, obviously, and you just sleep and then your hair is flat at the back and then here it's long. Like, you don't want that. So protective styling helps with that. Like I said, protective styling helps with growth as well. And protective styling, guys, is also good for winter. You need to protect your hair in winter. Winter's a time when your hair gets really dry, and if you're not looking after it, guys, you will lose hair. And it's always nice for you to, like in winter, to do protective styling that has that could, like that where you have to use like hair piece, because you know that you'll keep it on longer. But even if you use your normal hair, then it's fine, it's still okay. Just to make sure that your hair is always protected. If you want to know how to do a flat twist, I've done this video before, so I'm just gonna link it up on top if you want to know how to do a flat twist. Flat twist is so amazing, guys. I like it because not a lot of people know how to do it, so when people see it, it's like, what? How did you do that? You know, and it's a really easy thing to learn, guys. So on this section, I'm going to be doing like 2 flat twists. So I'm going to do 2 flat twists in one section. I'm going to put a little bit of oil because now I've just separated a section. You know, guys, when it's cold, like when you're in a cold room, you can really feel that like products aren't going into your hair. And I feel like this is what I feel like. This room is hella cold. So I think what I'm gonna do is heat up this room a bit, because this is not working. And this also happens in winter, guys. That's why it's best for you to have a protective styling in winter, because your wash days, you know, it's cold and your hair shrinks and oils just don't blend into your hair. This is better. This is great. Okay. So now we're gonna do a flat twist. So I am done now doing my protective styling, and this is how it looks. Let me just do a 360. I know the lines are not straight, guys. Like I said, I know I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying indoors. Even if I want to go out, I'll just probably wear a wig or whatever. But yeah guys, so this is my protective styling, and so now I'm gonna talk about what you're gonna do after this. So now we are done with our wash day, right? So now we're just waiting for our hair to dry. So this is probably going to be dry by, you know, the next day. And so now when this happens, so I usually stay like this for like 2 days, because my hair just, when it's like this, then you know, my hair keeps its moisture for a longer period of time, rather than when my hair is like open. So the next day you can take this out and then style your hair and do whatever you want to do, and then from then onwards, so what I usually do is that when I moisturize my hair, I just use this, my rice water with carrot, and then I also just use this oil. So I spray this and then I use this and then I style. When you're doing your wash day and after you do your LCO method, guys, make sure that you saw it like how it was, how my hair was before I heated the room. My hair was just, my fingers were cold, my hair was just getting cold, and you know, therefore the oils and the moisturizers weren't really going into my hair because it's cold. Another option that you can go for is that you can just do your hair outside in the sun. That way it's better, you've got natural heat and the oils will just blend into your hair perfectly. And another thing I want to talk about is, okay guys, make sure that you protect your hair when you sleep. Not even just protective styling, using a satin bonnet. I've mentioned this so many times, guys. Do not use anything cotton. Cotton will literally drink all those oils out of your hair, and that is why your hair may always be dry, is because maybe you're always tying your hair with a cotton, you know, those cotton bandanas. Guys, those are a bad idea. Just get a satin bonnet. A silk bonnet is good enough. The oil does not come onto this. And another thing I want to talk about is make sure that, you know, when you're doing your protective styling, like when you get your hair done in a salon or anything, make sure that your hairstylist is not pulling your hair, not causing tension to your edges, to your scalp, guys. That is very important. Make sure that you also give your hair a break when you're doing protective styling. If you have braids for like, let's say 2 months, you know, take the braids off and then just let your hair breathe. Don't go and stress your hair again. Like, let's say today I take the braids off, the next day I'm doing braids again. No guys, your hair needs to relax, to breathe, you know. Also your edges, guys, take care of them. I've been using shea butter on my edges, raw shea butter, and it seems to be working out. Use tea tree oil, use lavender oil. Those are good for your hairline. Also, don't, like when your hairstylist braids your hair, they shouldn't be pulling from your edges, because your edges are gonna fall off and you won't have any edges, guys. Do not do that. Even when you're doing things like straight back with hairpiece, rather let your hairstylist start with your hair first, and then they should add the hairpiece. Adding hairpiece right here, guys, you will lose your edges, I am telling you. So just, you know, some basic hair care tips, guys. Trim your hair. I trim mine once a year, and it just works for me. And do not trim too much of it off, and do not cut too little to a point where, you know, it didn't even make a difference. Hair trims are very important for when you have split ends. Your hair won't break any further if you cut them off. If you cut those split ends off, then you're safe. If you don't cut them, your hair will split until the root, and your hair will always be breaking and all of that, and you do not want that. And also, when you dye your hair, guys, if you dye your hair, please make sure you take extra care of it. You need to make sure that it's extra moisturized so that it doesn't break, because dyeing your hair tends to break your hair. So you need to keep your hair moisturized, guys. Use more smoothies like the Sheer Moisture, use more oils, use the LCO method on a frequent basis. So for instance, like now, if let's say you haven't dyed your hair, you would just use, you know, oil and water maybe every 2 days or whatever the case is. But then if you've dyed your hair, try use the LCO method instead of just using the liquid and the oil, so that your hair is always moisturized. I know I've also been using like deep conditioner just before I style my hair. That also keeps my hair moisturized, guys, and I also recommend that. If you're a beginner, I know this may seem like a lot, but just take it step by step. That's why I've broken this down into like a series, so that you are, you know, baby steps, you know, what to do, when to do it, and also just advice on, you know, how to take care of your hair. I hope this really helped you guys. And if you want to also blow out your hair or to use a straightener, guys, use a blow dryer when necessary. I know people use it as a way to measure their hair, and that's okay guys, but make sure that you're using a heat protector. Straightening, I've never straightened my hair ever since I've gone natural. So if you want to blow dry your hair guys, just make sure you're not doing it every day or you're overdoing it. Make sure that you just blow dry your hair probably like once in 2 to 3 months. I think throughout this series I have covered everything that I want to talk about. I think next I'm going to be focusing on hair masks and hair rinses and the things that, you know, just to maintain your hair. And so that's it. This is the end of the series guys. I really hope that this helped for those of you who did not have an idea or have a clue on how to handle and to manage and to also maintain natural hair. I know it's not an easy thing, but then once you get the hang of it, it doesn't even seem like you're doing anything. So I really hope this helped guys. If you have any questions, if you have anything that you would like to say guys, please say it in the comment section. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching these videos, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.